Man, things are really heating up on the haves and the have-nots, y'all. I mean, that ending had me like, oh shit, it's on and popping now. Let's talk about this. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to KRS TV. This is your boy Kenny, and this is the Haves and Have-Nots Season 7, Episode 4, and the name of this episode is The Surgeon. Man, this was a really good episode, and I'm going to be roasting a few people on this episode tonight. But before I get started, on a serious note, I'd like to give my love and condolences to Jussie Smollett. You guys all have heard the reports, and I'm going to be doing a video talking about this after that, so definitely check that out as well. But yes, my heart and my condolences are out to Jussie Smollett and his family. Now, let me begin with this review. The episode opens up with Landon and Charles. Y'all remember from the last episode, Charles and Candace, had that moment, and Candace is like, she's done, and so is he. So we literally see him when the episode opens. He's really in his feelings, and he's not really loving the fact that he's president, because he talks about how, and he's sharing this personal stuff with Landon, and Miss Landon, who is in love with Charles, is just eating it up. And let's just say she gets caught in an uncompromising position. So but Charles is talking about how, here it is, my life is about to be the Oval Office. I would kill to just have a normal life without security detail. I would like for my kids to be able to play in the playground without security detail. And, of course, Landon is trying to, be that confidant, and was like, but you're single, you should just date and everything, and he was like, and then Charles was talking about, you mean Howard? Please. I've seen the kind of women Howard be hanging around with. I don't want none of that here. And then he's like, oh, it's Candace. I'm like, fool, it's Candace. You know damn well he's in love with Candace. All this time you spent with him, you know how he feels about her, and you hate it because you feel that way about him, but the man is straight, but yet you're still drawn. And I'm about to roast Landon's sorry ass right now, because you were giving Jeffrey the blues of him being in love with Wyatt. But yet, you were doing the exact same thing that Jeffrey was doing in earlier seasons. You're going after a straight man, and due to the fact that you have these feelings and desires, you can't let them go, even though the man is straight. And somehow in your subconscious, you're just hoping one day something can happen and you can just put it in me right quick and I won't say nothing. Shh. Yeah, a lot of them have that feeling, have that type of problem, and there are some actual gays who think in that term. And Landon's obviously, that person. And Charles admits that, yeah, it is Candace, Obviously, he admits that she's spellbound, she makes me feel good and she makes me feel free. We both came from nothing. We're both hustlers, and everything, she completes me. And then he's like, but here you are, you're a successful person and she's nothing but a low-level fucking criminal. And I'm like, look, there you go right there, Landon, the jealousy. You hate the fact that this man likes fish and he doesn't want your kibasi, boo-boo. And it blows me that you got some gays who do that shit with straight men. It is just so like, it's just dead to me. That don't roll on my end, cause So Charles asks Landon, did you clean her up? And he's like, yeah, her record's clean. So Candace got a clean record, and here it is, Candace, you done did all this shit, And he's the only one that's really trying to give you a new platform, but you still want to be on the old bullshit and still be on the old gutter shit because you're afraid of learning something new or letting yourself be vulnerable. Because she's in love with Charles too, and she's running. And we literally see that's exactly what Candace is doing. She's running from the fact that she's in love with this man, and she knows she's going to have to upgrade from this ratchet lifestyle that she's living in order to be, in order to be complete with him. But then Charles admits that, yeah, I'm glad that we cleaned the record, but he's like, I can't be with her because I can't help her, I just can't, and then he also talks about how, in his life, at one point when he was a child, he had this good relationship with his mom. He was, a person who had a life, but then all of a sudden when things changed and, I got cleaned up and all of that, I just been put on this pedestal. And he says, even my mom treats me differently. I gave up who I was for the Oval. And now he realizes that being president, you belong to the American people. That's the job you signed up for. It's no longer about you. It's about the platform. Hashtag Make America Great Again. Take note of that. Just saying. Alright. So he pretty much is just done, and they decide to start drinking. And at first, Landon's like, well, I'm on duty, sir. He's like, they ain't never stopped us before. Ain't like we never did this before. So, I just want to be happy. I just want to have fun. Let's just loosen up. And they start drinking, and I'm like, oh shit, Landon gonna make his damn move, because that's what those type of girls do. They wait till they get you liquored up, and then they start trying stuff. They start, playing Russian roulette to see whether it's gonna pop up or they gonna get knocked the fuck up, meaning they gonna get their ass beat. So that's going on. Then at Veronica's house, this girl is still shooken from the fact that David blatantly threatened her ass and told her, I'm going to kill you. So this has completely knocked her off her little pedestal. She's up in her room watching the wedding video. RK sleeping in the bed. She's up in there watching the wedding video, getting all kind of emotional and talking about something. You used to love me. Now you hate me. Now you hate me. And she just got thrown off. It's like she's completely gone. And then RK was like, man, turn that shit off. I'm trying to go to sleep. And, she, and then she pretty much was like, just go to sleep and leave me the hell alone. Shut up. And then he was like, you know what? This, like, I can't believe you up here watching this bullshit. You actually doing this? So he kind of takes the remote, turns it off. Like, RK is getting real comfortable talking the shit that he's talking to Veronica. I mean, he is literally feeling all of his wild oats. And they were just going back and forth, and it was crazy, and pretty much she was saying that, oh, now you want to get tough? How come you didn't get tough when David hit me? He says, I protected you. He was like, you ain't do shit. Now, Benny Young would have fought him. Yeah, Benny would have, because Benny did fight him, and let's just say, Benny did give David a run for his money, but I had to say David won that fight. But Benny was keeping up with him, and David was keeping up with him too, so, hey, David got better with old age. So, they go back and forth and everything, and he's like telling her, like, look, what the hell is wrong with you? You need to see a psychiatrist, or a pediatrician or something. I'm like, yo, he's just being straight, all kind of disrespectful. And she's like, you're disrespectful and I don't like it. And he's like, yeah, and I'm tired, so let me sleep. And then she was like, you need to apologize to me. He's like, you know what? I need to apologize to myself for the fact that you doing all this madness. You need to go somewhere. And then she starts to attack him. Get out of my house, blah, 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 blah. And like she's hitting him and all that. And then he kind of pushes her off. And he's like, and then all of a sudden she just starts getting all close to him and was like, okay, you just rest. You just rest, okay? Just rest. Tell me why the hell Veronica's old evil ass goes into the kitchen and decides to pull out the Al Green ingredient, decides to pull out a pack of grits and begin to boil them on the stove. I'm like, RJ, she's like, these motherfuckers, and she's like saying, oh, these motherfuckers gonna learn not to disrespect me. I'm Veronica Harrington. I'm like, ooh, RK, you don't know what you about to get, bruh. Like, you decided to go to bed with Crazy. Crazy is exactly what you're gonna get. So, as far as that, I don't feel sorry for RK's ass, because you kind of lit this detonator yourself, and we're gonna see how that's gonna unfold. But yeah, that was crazy. Then, going back at the Artesian Hotel, Charles and Landon are drinking. They are getting drunk. You know, Charles decided to call it a night, you know, and then we immediately see that whore Landon, because Landon's a tramp. Landon was so pressed and was so excited. I mean, you literally saw the adrenaline running through him. But shout out to Christian Cordula. You did a phenomenal job in that scene, because you really brought this out where, you know, he's getting closer and closer and thinking, what if I do this or if I do that, what's gonna happen? So he pretty much helps Charles to the bed. He takes off Charles's shoes. Remember before when he tried that, Charles rejected him, but now Charles is inebriated, so he decides to remove his shoes and all of that. Then, you know, he's saying that, man, I can't even unbuckle my belt. And oh my God, then he takes off his shirt, and we just see that, ooh, the adrenaline is running. It's like she is getting real tense, and we see her lips are starting puckering. She's like, ooh, and then all of a sudden, he also removes the belt buckle, and I'm like, ooh, this child is really thinking that she's about to get her moment to taste the meat, because we just see that she was so eager, and he was like, man, I just want to be happy. I just want to be happy for once. I just want to feel good again. For once, I just want to feel good again. And then Landon, immediately up in her little position, kind of like, can I help you out to make you happy? And he's like, and then all of a sudden we begin to see that Miss Landon starts to unbuckling them pants, starting the zipper, and you just see that she is getting excited. And then all of a sudden, Charles just immediately got sober, just like that. Like, what the fuck you think you doing? And all of a sudden, you see Landon, he's like, get out! Get out! And then we see Landon walking down the hall. Her heart is racing. She about to cry and everything. I'm like, that's exactly what the fuck you get, bitch. This is exactly what you get. You lucky he didn't beat the shit out of you. Because stuff like that I do not like and I don't condone. If a man is straight and you knew he was straight, but you were hoping you were going to get your little gay moment and you got shut down. So yeah, that was crud, and you got exactly what you deserve, and you lucky Charles didn't snap and beat you to the end of your life, cause that shit ain't cool at all. So then we see Candace is still at the bar with Rocky. She's still talking cash shit to him, talking about some, you told Oscar my plan, I don't give a fuck what you gotta say. And he was like, well yeah, but I see you took care of him. She was like, oh, you want me to beat your bitch ass again? What you say, huh? Say the shit again. He was like, look, he's like, yeah, I just said I'm sorry, Candace. I'm like, yeah, so you're saying that I'm the reason why he fell out the window? What you trying to say? He's like, I'm not. He's just like, you know what? Just shut up and get me another drink, fool. And then we see panicked ass Landon come to the damn bar. He's going he's pretty much asking for, I want to double this and I want this and I want that. He want every damn drink at the bar. And Candace is like, what the hell is going on? He's like, not now. He's like, yo, dude, what's up? And he just started to yell at her. It was like, not now. He's like, dang, what's going on with you, baby? I haven't seen you like this since I had that guy make you pee in your pants. You know, and then he's like, I think I lost my job. I'm like, possibly yes. I mean, because you did cross the line, and your girl told you not to cross that line, but you being a thirsty little slut was trying to get your moment, and yet the moment blew up in your face, and not in the way you wanted it to. Okay, so he actually tells Candace what happens about how he tried to go down on him. And she was like, what? And he was like, but you said he was gay. So and she's like, he's not gay, boo-boo. I would know that he's not gay. I just said that shit to get under his skin. I'm like, Candace, you a bad bitch. I'm like, yo, so your dumb ass was so pressed to put your mouth on that meat that when she was taunting him, because you got people who do that shit, and that's not cool either. You know, they try to taunt throwing that gay thing, you know, saying that it's a form of weakness when gay and weakness don't even go in the same category. But, you know, you got some people who play those games. So she was just fucking with him, but Landon took it, oh, she's saying he's gay, so maybe I got a chance. Like, boo-boo, you don't know when Candace bluffing? Boo-boo, she has been tearing that man up. He is sprung over Candace. He been talking about Candace this and Candace that the entire damn campaign, bruh, since he met her. And you mean to think that you believed that at that moment, oh, now Charles is gay, bruh? Dude, he made you do all this shit to get Candace, even clean her record. You know what the deal is, but you just in your feelings because you got busted. You got caught with your mouth open and the pants unzipped, and you got shut down. So now you bitter and you swole. So, you know, he's talking about some, oh, give me these shots and give me all this, and, you know, and Candace was like, you should not have done that. That was crossing the line. And he was like, yo, just build these to my room. And she's like, oh yeah, because she had asked for he had got some shots for the both of them actually. And she was like, oh yeah, build mine too. She's like, oh no, I'm not building yours because I hate you, bitch. I'm like, oh, now we want to get all cut because we done got our feelings hurt. And you might have lost your job because you was trying to suck off on your boss. Typical bitch. Okay, let's move on. So then we see that Candace calls Mitch to ask about Benny, and she asks him what happened, and she's like, well, I don't know, but I'm about to find out. But he's like, won't you ask me something? Won't you answer me something, baby? What's up with you and the president? And she's like, we not going there. He's like, I'm just saying, Candace, how the hell did you pull that off? I'm like, she's Candace. She candy cane, baby. Candy cane always know how to give the sweets to she knows how to serve her sweets. That's her gift. That's why her uncle gave her that nickname, Candy Cane. And she been living by that creed to this day. You know, get them before they get you. So, you know, then we see that he ends up getting off the phone with Candace because Uncle Vinny's coming up and he's talking to a detective. You know, and he's asking questions about you know, the day when Wyatt attacked him, and he's not telling the police anything. And he was like, you know, I don't know nothing, so I'm not gonna give you anything. So the guy ends up leaving, and then Mitch was like, why wouldn't you just tell him what was going on so they can get to the bottom of this? He's like, no, you know our creed. We don't talk to cops. They the enemy. We don't talk to them. We don't give them nothing. So he says that but I got one thing to say though. That Cryer kid, we gonna get him. And then Mitch asks about Benny. He was like, oh, Benny, that thing is over for now. You know, I talked to Mama Rose, and we're gonna talk some more about it and everything. And then all of a sudden, he makes the slip, Uncle Vinny, saying like, and besides, you know, what happened to his ass? I mean, shit, we ain't the only ones that's after him. So immediately, the light goes off in Mitch's head, and he's like, what do you mean, what happened to him? You mean to tell me you knew who did this? Like, who was it? What's going on? And all of a sudden, Uncle Vinny's like, yo, what is your thing with this dude, young? Like, why do you care? He's like, man, what you mean? I've been friends with him since high school. You know, we go way back. You're like, why wouldn't I? Like, he's like, you know what? I'm going to tell you like it is. But then he's like, but anyway, give me my money. So he gives him the $45,000, you know, the bloodstained money that Benny had in the fireplace. But he says, oh, he doesn't have the interest. And he was like, what the hell you mean he don't have the interest? He gonna give me my interest because, let me enlighten you, Mitch. Your boy Benny got over about $8 million sitting in his bank account right now. And he's like, how the hell would you know that? He said, because the reason why your boy got stabbed, Jim Cryer put a hit out on him, and there is an actual reoccurrence that shit gonna keep happening to Benny until he gives Jim that money back. So now he's sitting on $8 million, so he can give me my interest. I want my interest, or yeah, Jim ain't gonna be the only one trying to take his head. I'ma fucking put the shit back on. Cause he said the reason why Benny ain't dead right now is because after I found out that he had $8 million in his account, I talked to Mama Rose and I got her to call it off because I said he got the money. We just need to get it from him. He good. So that's the only reason why Benny is still breathing, you know, and that we didn't kill him. But yeah, somebody else won his head, and if it's gonna keep going on until he gives that money back to Jim Cryer. So I was like, damn, Jim is so fucking ruthless. Yo, but I'm saying, this is the door that Benny opened with his dumb ass listening to Candace. You kept the fucking money in the account, but you can't even get access to it unless Hannah signs off on it. It's a joint account, you ass. So after that went down, we go to David's house. Madison is there attending his wounds, changing his bandages. Jeffrey's there, and I'm just really about sick to death of Jeffrey. I'm to the point where I'm like, hey, if Jeffrey's another body, so be it, because this fool just ain't gonna wake up at this point, and I'm gonna get to it. But then we see that he's changing his bandages, and we see that damn David is hot. He's just going off like that bitch. Like, he's just going in. She's like, she did this to me, and I'm angry as hell. And he's like, and I'm scared. And then Jeffrey was like, what are you scared of, Dad? He's like, scared of what I'm about to do. And he's like, well, hell, she had it coming. And he was like, yeah, I'm about to end this once and for all. And then Madison had offered him to take some pain medication. She's like, I don't want the pain medication. I want to feel the pain. Like, he wants that anger to get so fucking deep that there will be nothing that will stop him from taking Veronica down. So he's using the pain as motivation to take her down. And I'm like, yo, this is one gruesome. Like, we're really starting to see that gruesome side of David Harrington, and I'm all here for it, because he has done nothing but cater and love this woman, and Veronica's old trifling whore ass has been a hot pocket the entire marriage. Because remember, she had told Jeffrey that David wasn't his daddy. I ain't forget that shit. It could be a possibility, because every time you turn around, Veronica been serving the puss. Shoot, she was screwing Derek a few years ago. It's a possibility that that kid ain't David's. But David had gave her everything, and because of her own crazy, she decides to do all this other shit, and then gets mad that David, you know, has sex with Maggie Day. She killed her, and now she done blew up Erica. So shit's just crazy, and David is at this point where he's done, and he pretty much decides he's gonna lay down, and he's literally let Madison know, I don't want no medication. I'm gonna feel the pain. I want to remember all of this. So when I get my moment, I'm gonna end her ass. And then he lays down and he tells Jeffrey that he loves him. He calls Jim, and he going in with Jim and telling Jim everything. Oh yeah, that bitch set me up, and I'm ready to get rid of her ass. And Jim is all for it, because you know he hate Veronica. So he's like, oh yeah, what's good? And he lets him know about everything, about Erica, you know, being sent to him, and that she worked for Candace, and that Veronica was in on it, that they set him up, and he's ready to take Veronica down. And he was like, I'm done. He's like, well, I think you're serious. He's like, hell yeah, I'm serious. I'm ready to make this happen, because Veronica got all these high-powered lawyers, and she says that if anything happens to her, these lawsuits and these lawyers are going to start working double overtime. We need to find out who these lawyers are, shut that down, so we can finally annihilate the dragon. And Jim is like, oh yes, I'm there for that. And he's like, yes, I am ready to put her ass in the ground. And then Jim was like, and I will be there as your best friend, standing next to you. And I'm like, they are crazy with the dramatics. So yeah, he kind of let it be known, and then he gets off the phone. That bitch! I was like, David is hot! And we about to see where this is going to lead, so let's keep it moving. Then we got a scene where Sarah finally finds out that Wyatt's old junkie ass is in her trunk. She opens the trunk. He immediately takes her purse because he's on that crackhead shit. He wants some money. And finally, the light bulb went on Sarah's mind. And I should have mentioned this the last episode that, yeah, now that she got, you know, Wyatt, she actually has the key to shut down Catherine and Jim, because Wyatt is ready to tell everything. And Wyatt been listening in on everything too, so he's been their witness that they've been trying to get, but you know, Jim has been keeping them away. But you know, now that he's in Sarah's possession, Sarah and me was like, oh, you can help me. I need you to go somewhere with me. And he was like, well, what do you do for me? She says, look, I'll give you money, I'll give you whatever you want. I'm like, cause she's saying that, oh, I'm gonna use this little junkie whore. I can use him to take down Jim and Catherine and possibly get immunity for myself. You know, since I did bring you another credible person that could really crack the case. So yeah, Sarah going wheel and deal, and I'm like, because you know, we saw in the last episode, Jim and Catherine, you know, played that ring around the rosy game where they were going to change everything to make her look like this love-crazed slut who broke the law because she wanted Jim. Yeah, they played that up real well, and I was like, that was real cute. But now, Sarah's about to now, she's now ready to play ball. So now we go to the house with Catherine and Jim. He's pretty much telling Leo, you're good for nothing. Where is he? And he's like, we can't find him. We don't know where he is. He's like, but Mac is looking at the camera. He's like, you know what? You guys are good for nothing. Just get the hell out of here. Go. And then all of a sudden, you know, Catherine's just sitting there. There you go. And he's like, Catherine, stop. You know, I ain't got time for this shit. Because now Jim realizes that his whole control apparatus, you know, Wyatt done got away. And then they also told him that, look, we looked everywhere, we can't find him, we don't know what happened. And then Catherine was like, ain't it obvious? Wasn't your little assistant DA chick was up in here? He probably went with her. And you better hope that didn't happen, because she's gonna take him straight to the DA. And then all of a sudden, you know, things started to come together. And you know, finally he let the guard Leo, you know, he brought them in. He's like, check those cameras and find out what the hell's going on. So Catherine was the one who tapped him on the shoulder, like, she's gone, possibly Wyatt went with her. And they rolled the cameras and they said they saw Wyatt getting in her car. So it's like, and then he's like, wow, Jim, you really done it this time, haven't you? Now you done delivered our son straight to the DA. You might as well would have put the damn boy in his lap. And then all of a sudden he flips and tells her to shut up. And she's like, tell me shut up one more time. And he's like, Catherine, shut up. She throws a drink in his face and she's like, tell me to shut up one more time. Because Catherine ready. And then he's like, bitch. And then all of a sudden that's when Leo came in and told him that, yeah, we got the footage. That, yeah, Wyatt escaped and he got in the trunk of her car. So now they know that where Wyatt is, and that now they're kind of, their whole situation is shook because now Sarah now has a card to play. Because before she had no cards, but now she got a card. And trust me, she'll probably get some money and get that little junkie whatever the hell he want just for her to get off. Now I'm going to talk about Hannah and Derek. And I'm just going to say Hannah really was getting on my last nerve because boo-boo. And the thing is, Derek clocked it because Derek, you know, is all holding up on her and she's like, you need to control yourself. You know, I said no sex. If you can't do that, you need to go. And I'm looking at this Hannah like, you messy bitch. Because all of a sudden, he's like, you know what? You a tease. And she's like, how am I teasing? He's like, look what you got on. And she really did have this nice little negligee and the girls were sitting up all nice. I mean, she looked good. And he was like, now you know you normally don't go to bed and stuff like that. I saw them grandma moo-moos you had up in the bathroom. You don't go to bed in this. Come on, man. You trying to tell me to calm down, but yet you come out, you know, serving sexy. And I'm like, exactly. She is literally playing this whole game, boo-boo. Like, if you're gonna do all that, you might as well just open the floodgates and let him come in and get his glory. Like, come on now. Like, but as I'm saying, Hannah is so stuck. Like, she's trying to be this perfect person. We can't do this, we can't do that. Boo-boo, if that's the case, you should have never invited him into your bedroom. Because trust me, ain't nobody getting up in my bed unless we rolling around in the hay. What's the purpose of me sleeping with somebody? You know, because me personally, the bed for me is sacred. So anybody I bring in my bed, there's something there. It may not necessarily mean we're going to have sex, but there's something there. And if it's not that kind of chemistry, there's no need for that person to be sleeping in the bed with me. Just saying. I'm honest. I'm a man. Just as Derek saying, I'm a man. Like, you up here serving, you know, serving sexy at me. How you gonna tell me not to get excited and tell me to control myself? And then all of a sudden he was like, you know, well, hey, if it makes you feel better, you got the lingerie. I'll take my shirt off. And I was like, does he have the lion tattoo? That question is still out there. Is he the guy that raped Hannah years ago? So that the jury is still out on that. So then all of a sudden they start kissing, and then the next thing you know, Benny's old punk ass come in there with his childish shit. Get out, you know, I need you, mama. And then come in there. Like, he literally acted like a spoiled brat and was all disrespectful to Derek. Put Derek out the bed and then told him, come out, go home and don't come back. And then he looking at his mother like, what you got on? You don't wear stuff like that. You need to go in there and put on one of them moo-moos. And then like Derek was like, see, I told you. I was like, that was a good moment, because it's like, come on. Really, in reality, Derek and Benny, Derek would be very good for Benny to get Benny off of that childish dumb shit that he's on. Because he just like, I'm the one sick, I'm in pain, I need to be here. Yeah, get out. Yeah, leave and don't come back. And I'm like, bruh. And Benny, and like, Derek is gonna get to the point where he gonna snap and whoop Benny ass. And I'm here for it, because Benny need to get socked up. Because, bruh, you are so fucking disrespectful, son. That's a grown-ass man. You have no right to disrespect him like that. I can see if he was disrespecting you or disrespecting your mother. He has not done either of those things. You don't have no right to be talking to that man that way. So I'm like, Derek gonna get to the point where he's gonna get fed up and he gonna check Benny, and I'm here for it when he does. So then him and so he decides to go home, and him and Hannah, part ways, and that was the end of that. Then Catherine calls Roderick, and tells him, "Where are you? I want to see you." And he's like, "I can't. Your husband threatened me with the inch of my life." And she was like, "Oh, he did that because your inches are longer than his." I'm like, Catherine, slick with it, just slick. I'm so happy like Catherine was with it. She's like, I want you to come over. And he's like, "I'm sorry, I can't." And she's like, "Boo boo, that wasn't a request. That was a demand. Come to my house now." He was like, "You really want me to come to your house?" And she's like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Come on, I like my life." And she's like, well, she says, "Well, fine, if you're going to be worried and everything, we can just go to your place." And he's like, "I don't know if that's a good idea." And he's saying that, I don't, it's not a nice place. And she's like, "I don't care. It is what it is." Like Catherine is willing to get the D on a air mattress. She don't care if you live in the bottom of the gutter. She love that meat. That's the reason why Jim hemmed you up. You turned Catherine out. Catherine loved the D and she want more of it. The D. So she says, "Text me your address." And then Rocky was there while he was having this conversation. And he's like, "You really was going to go to her house? And now you're going to invite her to your house? Like, dude, you asking for trouble. Then you saw what that man came in here and did. Like, are you crazy?" So then the episode ends. Madison is reading, and Jeffrey wants to fix up a guest room, and Madison's like, "Oh, so you don't want to share? You don't want me to be in the room with you?" He was like, "Well, no, we don't know each other that well." And I'm like, "Oh, but you letting you've been tapping Justin, and you really don't know him that well either. The problem is you think you know more than what you really do, because Jeffrey's a fucking idiot." Jeffrey right now is still in this defensive thing when it comes down to him and Justin. Like, you still got feelings for this fool. And in a way, Madison kind of clocked it, And then he was saying that, but then also, Jeffrey was like, "Well, another reason why I don't want to share the same room is because my room is right next to my dad's." And he was like, "Oh yeah, that's crazy." And he says, "Yeah, and I do have a tendency to get noisy." And he was like, "What?" He was like, "Yeah, I get noisy. I like my partner to know what he's feeling." And he was like, "Well, how many partners have you had?" He was like, "Shoot, that's another conversation. How many have you had?" And Jeffrey said 2. Then "Oh yeah, Landon and Justin." Obviously, he told Landon to his face that he wasn't all that good. But that crazy that he getting with Justin, that is just turning Justin all kind of crazy. And a part of Jeffrey likes that crazy. He likes the fact that Justin is crazy over him. It boosts his ego. It makes him feel like he's wanted, even though he's putting his life in danger. So then he was pretty much saying that now it makes sense, because he says that he's done more things with Justin than he ever did with Landon, obviously. So he's like, "So I see that's why you're so into him and why it's so hard for you to break from it, But, he's like, "So how did y'all meet?" And he was like, "Oh, that's a long story. I don't want to talk about it." He's like, "Well, eventually we're going to have to talk about it. How did this whole thing get together?" I'm like, how it got together was that Justin got into the back of the car and pretty much sexually violated him. And it then led to even more shit because Candace put him on to him to blackmail him to get him on the team. It worked for a moment, and then Justin flipped the script and he started blackmailing Jeffrey and still been keeping Jeffrey under this tight control. That's how it all went down. So all of a sudden we see that this damn Jeffrey starts getting defensive and shit, like, "Look, you really don't know, and how can you say that when you don't know?" And I'm like, you up here covering and lying and afraid to admit that this asshole sexually abused you, and yet you have been sleeping and been craving your abuser. I mean, because in a way it was somewhat like a rape, even though he didn't sexually penetrate him, but yet he was coming off on an abusive condition when he was coming at Jeffrey when they first met. It was all about him taking, getting his while he was sexually and verbally, attacking them, saying that he was disgusting and blah, blah, blah. Homophobia. Hello, key, the root to homophobia. Usually a psychotic person who can't deal with their own sexual insecurities. There you go. So, all of a sudden, they talking on the couch, and then out of nowhere, there's a red dot on Jeffrey's head. And I'm like, let's see how well you're going to defend his ass now that he ain't got a dot on your head, and he can take you out at any moment. So that's what I have, y'all. If I missed anything, put it down in the comments. I'd love to talk to you about it. But subscribe to my channel. Click that bell so you get notifications every time I drop a video. Also, follow me on all of my social platforms. I have them all listed in the description box. Also, like this video, comment on this video, and share this video. And I'll be back with the next episode of the Haves and Have-Nots. So until next time, everybody, take care.